It's been a while since I've gone live with Facebook, and I just wanted to pop in to kind of tell you all what's been happening with YUIR and here in the city of Minneapolis. As you can see, I'm at the location in which George Floyd was murdered, or lynched as we call it. We are in the center of South Minneapolis, specifically the Central Area neighborhood. And it's a historically black neighborhood. But I've gotten a lot of questions about, hey, what are you all doing here in Minneapolis? Um, what's needed? Where can we help? And so I wanted to just pop in and give you guys an idea of what's happened and what's needed. I think it's important for people to know that we're in a time of such grieving, right? Black and brown people are feeling this, right, on all fronts. So whether it's the constant threat of white supremacy, whether it's the threat of the police officers killing more people, young people now are experiencing a rash of crime here in shootings in Minneapolis, and we're bombarded by the overuse of fireworks. And then there is the constant kind of barrage of questions about how are we doing. So the very small to the very big things are happening to us, and I think it's important for people to know, right, what's actually going on. We're battling on all fronts if you're a black and brown person in this country, and we're in such a period of influx. And so we have gone from the disaster period to now the recovery period. So what will be needed in our communities? As you can see around us, there's lots of destruction, but we don't focus necessarily on the destruction. We want to focus on the solution. And so YUIR will continue to contribute in ways that they have been, by building coalitions, by digging down and deep into the restorative practice work that needs to happen with our young people, right? We have all been through trauma in these last 3-4 weeks almost. The amount of trauma that young people have experienced is great, right? And when people have experienced trauma, it comes out in all different forms. And I promise y'all, I do not want another young person to die. Not only die at the hands of systemic racism, I don't want them to die from gunshot wounds or the lack of knowledge, right? There are people out here that will perish just from the lack of knowledge. If we don't understand systems and how systems work, and how white supremacy works, we will definitely perish. And so this summer, we are bringing all of the organizers from AFSC here to the Twin Cities. One, because this uprising is happening all over the world, right? And it's happened, and it continues to happen, and there are some great and wonderful people that have organized around the issues that we're currently experiencing. So we know that there's a wealth of knowledge within AFSC. We want to bring those young, vibrant organizers to the Twin Cities to help organize with the community folks that's out here doing the work, right? We can build on each other's knowledge. So we want to bring them here. We want to gather the young people that are out here, and we want to give them the knowledge. And talk about their lived experience. So this is around organizing. How many of us learned how to organize, how to put on a protest when we were in high school, right? We didn't learn that. And unless you came from an organizer family, that's probably not in your realm of understanding. We want to give people the knowledge of systemic racism. What are all the things that are at play that got us to this point this far? It's usually not written in a book. It's also not written or given to you in your educational experience. Then we want to talk about like these laws that allowed us to get to this place in the first place. What about that police contract? When do we learn about that information? And then we want to, after we talk about organizing, we have to give young people the tools to heal, right? We don't want them to self-medicate or self-harm. We don't want them to rely heavily on medication. We want them to have knowledge about non-traditional forms of medicine, such as herbs. We want them to do yoga and learn about chakras and astrology, those kind of things. And then the last part of what young people need and we should be helping them to understand is, how does business work? how does rebuilding of our communities work, and getting them involved in that, right? Because I think sometimes young people are overlooked. They have brilliant ideas. I have no doubt that young people will be a part of the rebuilding of our communities because they have such brilliant ideas. And so we want them to be a part of rebuilding. But first they have to know, what does it take to actually build a business? Who gets the money in our city? Who controls the money, right? And this is not just building for capitalist sake. We want them to rebuild a healthy community, right? So all of those ideas is what we want to do this summer with young people. And we know, you all, there has been programs that have been completely cut, right? So there's not much for young people to do. And so we want to be where the young people are. And that's out on the street. That's in person. That's not on Zoom. And so we need your help. Donate if you can. Definitely check in with us if you are all about this life and making sure that young people have something to do this summer. We are partnering with Central Area Neighborhood Organization, which is the neighborhood that's responsible for this neighborhood. We are also going to partner with Corcoran, and we even have other people that have stepped up and said they want to partner with us. So my thing is, I don't want another young person to die, y'all. I don't want black and brown people to perish, but I also know that we have so much work to do. We out here, I'm out here every day, and I see it, but I also see the hope and the beauty of people helping, right, and want to help. But I also see the money grab and the land grab, right? There are people out here that are like parasites, and they are banking off of our trauma, right, and the experience that we just went through. We see you, and we know that you're not here for our community. You're not here for us. We don't need any more people like that. But I also see those white allies that's willing to learn and that's willing to listen to black and brown leadership. And there's a place for you all to support this work in not a paternalistic way, but actually support it in a humbling, non-ego way, right? And listening to black and brown people about what they want. Really, the goal is self-sufficiency, y'all. We need to be self-sufficient, and we're building our communities. We don't need other people's putting their resources into our communities under the guise of just helping, and what they really want is their name to be on something, or for them to come in and stake claim to all of this, right? And so I think it can happen. I'm hopeful, but it's tiring. It is definitely tiring. You're out here, and we're going to get this right, for sure. Young people are creative. I'm banking on the creativity of young people. That's what I put my money on, right? And so I hope you can join us with this, for sure. All right. And as always, you can always contact me if you have questions or want to be down, want to be out here, want to serve the community, that want to understand what is happening. Definitely contact me. I'm more than willing to engage in the conversation for the betterment of our people, though, for sure. All right. So I will talk soon. I will make sure I check in more often. All right.